Correct. So bitmap is basically made up of pixels. Okay, right. This is basically your canvas. Your canvas, you can name it. You can define the width and the height in pixels, inches, centimeter, whatever the examiner says so. Resolution can be 72. 72 is for web-based, and 300 will be for your desktop-based applications. Okay, so we will stick to 72 for now, unless and until the examiner specifies that it should be 150 or 300 or 72. Okay, now mostly the examiner will not talk about it till now, but if they do, you know we'll change the resolution. Okay, you have color mode as RGB and you have CMYK, the most common one that can be used. But again, CMYK is used for publications. So when you're printing out something, it's CMYK. RGB is when you display it on a visual display unit. RGB is not used while you're printing it. We'll talk about this in more detail when I do the theory part of this with you some other day. I'm not getting into it right now. Okay, but we will discuss it. You can make it transparent, the background. You can make it white, whatever you may want to. Okay, usually white and transparent is what we will be dealing with, not the background. So I'll just make it white. This is the image size that I will be expecting to have 1.1 MB according to the following dimensions and the resolution that I have. Okay, so here we go. This is what I have. So I will open up my canvas, and I will just now do is if I open up any particular image, just one second. For example, if I open up, let's say if I open up this, right. So what you can do is, obviously you need to get acquainted with the tools. It's pretty easy software, believe me. So this is your move tool. These are your tabs over here. You can drag them. You can bring them down over here. You can put them side by side. This is 25% zoomed in. I can press Control plus and I can zoom in more. You can see it's 100%. This is 100%. Okay, right? So if I press Control minus, I can zoom it back. So you can see over here I have is 100%. Here I have is 25%. So obviously if I bring this over here, you can see is it will try to adjust in 100%. Okay, well, anyway, if you come here, I can press Control minus and Control plus, like Control minus. So if I can press Shift and I can diagonally reduce the size. Actually, my Shift is not working. Okay, we'll manage without it. The aspect ratio will be maintained. We can assume it's being maintained. So you see, by pressing Shift and reducing the size. So here we go. This is what we did right now. You get the point? So it's important to look at how much percentage you are working right now with. Okay. What I'll do is I'll just remove it and I'll say apply. Done. The important thing is that softwares like Adobe Premiere, Adobe, like After Effects, like Photoshop, Illustrator, Animate, they have layers, windows and layers. And the concept of layers basically is very important, which basically means that if I keep on adding different things, for example, if I come here now, and if I, let's say, file, open, and if I open up any other image, let me just open up this image. And I can do is I can place this over here. And oops, again, it's too big, but anyway, it doesn't matter. Control minus. I think so my resolution should have been. Anyway, so here we go. What I'm trying to say is, now if I show you the layers, you will see over here is in the layers over here, I have the background, I have layer 1, which was this, and layer 2, I have this. So you get layers. On top of every layer, you'll have another layer. Every object, every image, every text that you type will go in different layer. Well, obviously that is the way it should be. Because if I don't want to work with this, I can hide it. Okay, I can delete it. Okay, I can right click and I can delete the layer as well. Okay, directly. So you can come here and you have this, the option to basically, you click on this layer, you see over here, you can delete, you can create a new layer, okay, you can put it in a folder or you can group them. We'll talk about them later on. So you can delete a layer, you can, that's the way we'll do. So anyway, well, first thing about the layers, I'll now delete this. because now I want to discuss is, we'll do one thing is, I'll just open up another document, and let's say I'll make this 300 resolution. And here we go. Right, perfect. And now I'll just put this, okay, not this one. I'll put this here. Let's talk about the first tool, the Marquee tool. The Marquee tool over here is used why? For example, I just want to take this part. I can click, drag and drop. Still the resolution. Oh, this means my camera is really good. Still the resolution is too high. So using the Marquee tool, I can place it over here. Let me do it again. In fact, you know what I'll do is, I will do one thing, that the resolution of this is too much. I'll just make it Control plus plus and I'll see the actual, or you can come into view and you can say actual pixels. I'll come to image size, and 4000, see it's too much, So I'll reduce it to 1200, and here you go. Fine. Now, if I select just a part of it, click, drag and drop, perfect, because my resolution is quite matching. So with this rectangle marquee tool, if you press shift, you will get exact square. If you press shift, exact square. So you can get any part, click, drag and drop. That's the important thing. Remember, the most important thing, Adesh, over here, it will be, once you are here, this has to be ticked, show, and this has to be ticked. If these two are not ticked, you will have a lot of problem moving these and resizing these. These have to be ticked. Remember that. Okay. Then, in the same manner, if I click over here, it's just, I'll get the elliptical marquee tool. So again, in the same manner, let's say I just want to get the wheel. I hope my shift does work. Anyway, it's not working, but still, no, I didn't get exact circle. So approximately, oops. Let's say I want to get the wheel out. Actually, it's not their exact horizontal, but I can take it out. Anyway, so elliptical can be used for two things, either to get an oval shape, or to basically get is a circular shape. And you can see is in my layers, if I go back to my layers, the interesting part will be that, actually I've opened up so many. See, all of them are coming in different layers. I can delete them. Let's go back. What else can we do? Now, let's stick to this. Let me select this part. Adesh, you're with me here? So I'll come here. I'll just click, drag and drop. I get this circle. I want something different. You know, Adesh, what will I do, Adesh? I'll simply select this. Listen to this carefully. I will discuss the feather effect. Right click while you are using the marquee tool. While using the marquee tool, right click over here, go to the feather and just make 45, 25, whatever. So now you click, drag and drop. You see I get this feather sort of effect in the round. That's the feathering effect. Okay. Now, by the way, feathering is a generic word used by CI. It's not Photoshop word. So we'll stick to generic words. That's most important, because not everyone in the world will be using Photoshop. Some students might be using GIMP. It's a free software, but Photoshop tends to be one of the best ones. Okay. So obviously, you can do the same thing with the rectangular marquee tool. I could have selected this part. Okay, and I could have said feather, right click feather, okay, and click, drag and drop. So I would have gotten this feather thing, as you can see over here, right? But anyway, that doesn't make sense, but that's what we're trying. So marquee tool, two rectangular elliptical marquee tool. Let's not discuss this right now, not very important in fact. Next we have is, let me just get rid of this. Then we have is lasso, polygonal and magnetic lasso tool. Now these are all your selection tools we're discussing today. Lasso tool is also known as a freehand lasso tool, which means that I just want to select something with a freehand, Let's say here you go. and I would like to do, okay, once I select this, I always have to use the move tool. That's why we call it the move tool. Because if I click on this and now I can move. So you cannot move without the move tool. You will not use that tool to move. You can't do that. You need to select, then use the move tool. That's what I do. Remember that. Okay, done with this. Then we have is polygonal, as the name says, polygon. Okay, fine. For example, usually when you have logos and stuff like that, I want to get the headlight, for example. I can use the polygonal tool. I'll show you how. I'll just click here. I am not doing it with a lot of precision. So you see this is somehow in sort of like exactly, but polygon. And here you go. Click. Oops. Control Z. Oh no. Delete. I'll do it fast. Now you can click, drag, and you got the headlight. Anyway, I think you got the point. If you have to take out some in polygon, for example, a building in polygon shape, you'll use the polygon tool. Right? Freehand, obviously freehand. Then why do we have is another tool which is known as your magnetic lasso. Magnetic lasso tool tends to be the most interesting, and I use it the most. When you select the magnetic lasso tool, you will have this option of frequency. Remember at the top, the frequency should be set to 100 for the most accuracy. It could be reduced, but 100 is the best. Now what I'll do over here is, let's say I'll just click here, and you see these dots that I'm getting, these are the joining dots. Frequency means how frequently do you want these dots to appear. If my frequency was 50, I would be getting 50% less dots, and this means 50% less accuracy, right? I'm not doing it with a lot of precision. You really have to have a good mouse. And here you go. I'll just click, join, and later on we will learn how to do it with a lot of precision, but right now I'm not doing that. Okay, later on. Just an example of how can you select with more precision, and we'll discuss afterwards. Right? So that's your magnetic lasso tool. So if you want to select a particular part, you can use the magnetic lasso tool. In fact, even if you want to select this particular black area, magnetic lasso tool can be used. Magnetic lasso tool can be used. So right? Next, any problem till now? I'm sure you'll be able to follow everything. Not a big deal. Okay, so next what we have is the clone tool. The patch tool, clone tool. Well. I can give you an example. For example, I want to just get rid of this 4x4. I can click on this patch tool. You will find this patch. Maybe you can see the healing tool or the spot tool, but the patch tool is within this. The red eye tool and all. We will discuss red eye tool later on. So patch tool is over here. What I'm trying to say is you have to find it out. Okay? How to use the patch tool? Well, I want to remove this. Remove this and replace it with what? Let's see. So once I have the patch tool, I'll select the area and I'll click drag and drop it from where I want to patch it. Oops, what went wrong? Not very good. I'll do it again. Actually, I really went too high. There you go. And here you go. Right? I removed it. Patch tool. Right? Let's say I want to remove this as well. So I'll select this and the patch tool. Oops, no problem. The patch tool. Right? So you can, the patch tool obviously takes a particular part and replace it with a patch. I think so you got the point. Okay, it's pretty easy to work with. Clone tool. Clone tool is somewhat just like the patch, but be different. See, below there you see is the clone tool. Now, the clone tool basically has this brush. Can you see the circle, Adesh?
Yeah.
If you use you have two brackets, you have the square brackets. I'm not talking about 9 and 0. I'm not talking about those round brackets. With P, you have these curly brackets, right? So if you, yeah, the opening will decrease the size, the closing will increase the size. Can you see that? So the opening and the closing can help you to increase and decrease the size of your clone tool, right? Remember that. And this goes for all the brushes, the gradients. So all for these, it will be. So what I'll do now is, I will simply, let's say, if I want to take a sample that's too big, I'll reduce it. If I want to take a sample from here, I'll take a sample. I'll just press Alt, you press Alt. And just give me a second. Let me just attach my other keyboard, because this will become irritating. Just 1 second. Okay, hopefully this works. Right, so I'm pressing Alt now. Yeah, it's working. As you can see now, if I press Alt, I'm talking, you have two Alts. You have one Alt on the right-hand side of the spacebar, one Alt on the left-hand side of the spacebar. I'm referring to the left-hand side Alt. So if I press the left-hand side Alt, you see I get is this cross. This is the cross. Now I click. Once I get the cross, the target basically is the target, not the cross. If I click on this target, now I have taken the sample. Now I'll just get hold of this. I'll not press Alt anymore. I'll come here and I'll just brush it. I'll just brush it here. Right? And I can brush it here. Very weird, but fine. I'm just trying to clone it in different places. Yes or no? Right? That's how you use the clone tool. Okay, so remember the Alt, take a sample, leave it, and go and, but the size of the brush matters. And not only that, Adesh, you can see over here is, if you can see, there are lots of different brushes available, lots of brushes. Well, I don't think so in A level, we have to go that far, but we will try to practice as much as we can. We don't know the level of difficulty that can come. Okay, examiner is allowed to give you 45 marks question of one module. We cannot argue. So we have to practice till professional level. Every module, remember that, okay? Do not help us to prepare, you know that. Okay, right. So these are the brushes. I'll give you some activities as well. So you can see lots of brushes, which one to choose, right? Okay, anyway, so these are your brushes. And okay, next. Let me just close this for a while. Okay, I'll go back, and what I'll do is now, I just want to open up. Okay, fine. Do I have a colorful image? They're not very colorful. Okay, anyway, it's colorful. It's fine. I can use it. But I need to just reduce the size of it. It's too much. I'll make it 1200 again. By the way, obviously you do know, if I come into image size, there is this constraint proportion. Constraint proportion means that if I reduce the width, the height reduces, and vice versa.
In ratio.
Yeah, if I don't want to do it, I will obviously untick it. Agree? So I want it to be maintained. So Control plus, increase the size. Where's Control plus? Anyway, Control plus. Okay. Now to use, I'll just bring it here. Okay, so I was going to do was, see what will I do. I'll just select this particular part of it. In fact, you know what I'll do is, I'll just first crop it. I'll crop it. And then I will use the circle. I'll press Shift, make exact circle, because I just want some colors over here. Now see, Adesh, what will I do? I'll simply right click and say select inverse. Can you see that?
Yeah.
Yeah. So it has not selected this, it has selected the inverse. Adesh?
Yeah.
Okay. Now what I'll do is, I'll simply go into image, adjustment, and black and white. This part is the same, the rest has turned to black and white. Right? So, and then if you remember Control Z, you cannot go back much in Photoshop. If you want to keep on going back, press Control Alt Z. Control Alt, then Z, 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 you keep on going back. That's a short key of going, keep on going back. So we can even do more. I can press Shift, I can make a circle. And I can say again, right click, select inverse. And now let's do something else. Let's go to filter. Let's go to blur. And let's go to Gaussian blur. It is generic. It's generic. It's not only in Photoshop. So I can do Gaussian blur. I can increase and decrease the Gaussian blurriness. So let me just increase. So here we go. And now image adjustment and black and white. Here you go. So see, more interesting. It's blurred and it's colored as well. You get the point, right? So we discussed.
Yes.
We discussed Gaussian blur. We have discussed this as well. You get the point, right?
Yes.
Frankly, there are lots of things. Frankly speaking, let me tell you something. In P4, I'm telling you because I'm the examiner in the hall for the past 18 years. In A-level, IT and AICT papers, at times the easiest modules tend to bring us the biggest problem. I've seen that. So we'll never assume that if a module is easy, no problem. We should be practicing to the extreme limit. Graphic is usually of 25 marks, which is a lot. 20 marks, 25 marks. And graphics tends to take the most of the time because students want to go into perfection, and obviously they should. And since they have not practiced it much, you have a good point over it. Good. And you know what that is? Hidden JavaScripting. Do you know that? But we have to do more JavaScripting. You need to do activities with me. I'll be giving you 35 activities as well. They're very important. Okay, I'll be testing that as well. So frankly, JavaScripting question will just take you 5 to 10 minutes, I'm telling you. But animation and graphics will take more time. I'm warning you from the first day today. I just want you to be aware of it. Okay, so I have seen every student spending 1 hour on these two modules, 1 hour, which is a lot. Because after that, you have a question of mail merge, you get a question of database and JavaScripting. Do you think so? You can complete 3 in the next 1.5 hours? I don't know. So animation and graphics should be done maximum by 45 minutes. 15 minutes should be saved, so that we have 15 minutes at the end to check everything. Okay, because checking is the most important thing in practical. Right. So you know what, Adesh, obviously I can keep on continuing doing this, but I'll stop here because I would like you to revise it, and next lecture on I'll start giving you activities. I'm not giving any activity today. Okay. Keep the days the same. Adesh, you want to keep the days the same the way it was going? It's fine.
Yeah, Sunday is perfect. Yeah.
Fine. So we meet
unless anything is better for you.
Absolutely. So we meet the same time tomorrow.
Okay.
And but till tomorrow, see, and if there's any point that you want me to revise, we will do it again tomorrow. No problem.
Okay, no problem.
Sure, dear.
Yeah. So are we good on time from now on? Is there not like too less time to revise all the chapters, or is it fine?
Sure.
Okay.
Right. So tomorrow 9 o'clock, fine?
Yeah.
9, right?
Yeah.
Okay, right. So we'll meet tomorrow 9 o'clock. Okay, dear?
Okay. See you.
Okay. See you then. Okay, bye.